You're never truly ready, so why are you still waiting? I can vividly recall when I would try to push back doing something, specifically my YouTube channel and even a few of the businesses that I tried to run in the past, tried to delay them because I always thought preparing and making sure you had the pitch perfect plan was the way to go. Boy, was I wrong, let me tell you. The real reason why I did that was because I was fearful of failing. I was overthinking the process and I was trying to be way too perfect. And those are the main problems for most procrastination. So what's the solution? The solution is to just get started. You can't get better at something without experience, and the only way to get experience is to actually do something. So in this video, I'm going to delve deeper into why you feel stuck, how to push through the resistance that you feel, and the mindset that makes starting way easier. Just one quick thing. Before we get into the video, I apologize for obviously the long break, and I wanted to kind of plug what I'm doing. In the description, there'll be an email. If you're interested in hiring a video editor for YouTube videos, I'm your guy. I may be a beginner at this, but I'm willing to learn and adapt to your style and learn as I go. So if you have any questions about that, hit me up with the email in the description. With that all out of the way, let's get right into this video. So why is starting so difficult? There's 4 major things that it comes down to. First one is the fear of failing. Worrying about what others think and feeling unqualified sets you back. It will make you go back to the drawing board and try to plan out every tiny minute detail when you don't even have the experience in the field that you're trying to delve into. Perfectionism is another key factor into making starting very difficult. Waiting for the perfect time to start or for the perfect plan is another sign of procrastination, because there is never a perfect time to start something. There is a best time to start, and that would always be right now. Researching too much instead of taking action, or just plain out overthinking your process, is another key reason why it's difficult to start something. Because when you overthink, you tie back into the perfectionism. You go back to preparing. You try to make sure that you have every tiny minute detail planned to perfection before you actually start. And then finally, outside distractions such as social media, like doom scrolling, making excuses to not start, like, oh, I just don't feel up to it right now. All of that, the classic example of procrastination, makes it extremely difficult to start. Now that we've identified the 4 key points that make starting any kind of endeavor very difficult, what are the solutions? There's a multitude of solutions that we can look at and tackle to break through the resistance that you feel when you try to start something new. The first recommendation that I want to give you is to just straight up remove all distractions. And that would be to remove social media, remove the ability for you to doom scroll or get distracted from something, and to remove video games. Those simple distractions, they eat up so much of your time. Now, it's all right to have downtime, but take your phone and throw it off the side. I'm not gonna throw my phone, but put it somewhere where you can't see it, where you can't hear it, so you're not tempted to grab it, and then separate your games from your work. Hide the video games so it's harder for you to actually go to those video games, so that way when you're trying to get work done, you're focused on work. The second recommendation that I have for you is to lower your stakes. Your first attempt is never your final product. It's never going to be perfect. You're always going to have tweaks that you want to make here and there. So set the bar a little bit lower. Keep in mind where you want your end goal to be, but don't try to achieve it on the very first attempt. View everything as a learning process, not a test. And what this will allow you to do is it will remove the barrier of entry for you to actually get started with something. Like for YouTube, for example, for me personally, my first video had this vision where how I wanted my channel to be in that first video, and it made making that first video so hard because I tried to enact that vision on the very first video, even though I didn't have the audience that could appreciate or make it even worth my time to produce something of that quality. So reducing your stakes for your first time doing something, your first attempt. The third recommendation is to commit to action over planning. Spend less time thinking and more time doing. For example, film the video opposed to watching YouTube videos about how to make the perfect video. If you want to go hit the gym, instead of finding the perfect workout that will make you the strongest in the least amount of time possible, go hit the gym. Because when it comes to things that take time, such as YouTube, the gym, building wealth, any of those kinds of topics and niches where you're building yourself, it takes time and it takes discipline, and it prefers consistency over everything else. So my final piece of advice for this topic is to use the 2-minute rule. If it takes less than 2 minutes, do it now, right now. Pause the video, do it right now. Because if it takes a short amount of time, usually what will happen is that little bit of momentum that you get after completing that really small task, it gives you enough momentum to break through the rest of the resistance to then go into your next task. The next recommendation I have for you is to set a minimum viable goal, which simply put means redefine your goal. If you want to make $1 million, that's very vague. How do you want to make $1 million? Do you want to do it the traditional way, 9 to 5, save your way to $1 million and invest it? Do you want to start a business? Make your goal as specific as possible and then make it a step-by-step process. This will significantly reduce the barrier of entry for any kind of work that you're trying to do and makes it significantly easier to actually go out and do it. For example, instead of saying I'm going to start a YouTube channel, say I'm going to make 1 video and then rinse and repeat, and then after multiple attempts you have started your YouTube channel. Because starting a YouTube channel is very broad, it's a very vague goal, but when you make 1 video on one specific topic, it becomes much easier because it's more defined, it's more clear cut for you. Small wins will build up your confidence and build momentum to keep you pushing through your endeavor. The next recommendation I have for you guys is to ignore external validation. Nobody cares as much as you think they do. As hard as that is to accept and to hear, no one cares as much as you do about something. So you have to shift your mentality over, instead of doing something perfect the first try, because people will respect the action over your hesitation. So the only way to improve is to start, even if it's a horrible product, and just get better, refine it. The final recommendation I have for you guys is to use deadlines to force action. What this means is you set up a non-negotiable deadline or start date for something, and then you tie in some form of punishment for it. Say, for example, when I was in high school, my junior year, when I started going down my self-development journey, what I would do is I wouldn't eat breakfast or have a meal during the day until I accomplished one thing. Now, whether that one thing was do my morning workout or make my bed or successfully get ready for the day, that varied, but that was my punishment, and that helped me get more done in that day because it built up momentum after getting the task done. Another tip for this is to announce it publicly, or even better yet, have a friend or a relative or someone you trust keep you accountable and actually check in on you like your boss. That will help you remain responsible for that deadline, and it makes it feel more realistic, like an exam deadline. So with all that being said, you don't need to be ready, you just need to start. Lower your stakes, take small actions, and stop overthinking. That's, in the most simplistic terms, all you have to do in order to get started with anything. And with that, I'd like to challenge you guys. Right after this video, I want you to take 1 step toward something that you have been putting off, whether that's making a YouTube channel, or starting that business, or going to the gym, or maybe it's something more simple than that, like get that homework assignment done. I want you to take 1 step toward whatever action you've been putting off recently and it's been weighing you down. And with that all out of the way, if you want more content on self-improvement, mindset, business, make sure to stay tuned, subscribe. The next video ties into this a lot, and it's a different video style. I'm quite excited about it. So I hope to see you guys there. And before I go, just a reminder that the email in the description, hit me up if you want your videos edited by me. With all that, I will see you all in the next video.